Some of you may know my love of street photography, but a bad hip and COVID seclusion, my photography of ventures had to change, and with a borrowed IR camera led me to a new passion of landscape photography. While in this COVID seclusion, a lot of us turn to the internet to connect. It's when I found a fact that I have been chasing for a while. So let's start there. If I told you to visualize an apple, what do you see? Close your eyes. Picture it. Now open them. Based on the example on the screen, what do you see? I'm a 5. I'm unable to create images, sounds, tastes, smells, or touch within my mind. I couldn't tell you what my own mother looks like, even though I've possibly seen her a million times. I truly only remember how things make me feel. With this knowledge, when someone tells you to visualize what you want to photograph, what do you do? Do you see it in full Technicolor? Perhaps you're more like me and have a conceptual understanding of what you're looking for and chase that feeling. Maybe this is why I fell in love with street photography, capturing a moment, a feeling to be relived again. So how does this really play into infrared photography? Well, it allows us to see beyond what our eyes see, beyond visible light. Images become ethereal, surreal, mystical, as our minds try to understand them. Normal landscape photography typically steers clear of harsh shadows, sunny days, while infrared celebrates it. You don't need to wait for golden light, especially with a bad hip. Since I can't remember what a place looked like anyway, for example, spruce trees, are they darker green from grass? What about in the sun versus in the shadow? This knowledge I need to have an understanding of for normal photography. Well, with infrared, I don't need to remember what it looked like. My eyes never really saw what my camera captured. This allows my mind and spirit to explore, play with the wonderful, weird, magical world of infrared. The only restrictions is my skills in processing them. So let me do a brief explanation of IR photography. There are many radiation sources, i.e. waves of energy, that we have adapted for our lives. As you can see by the chart, visible light is only a tiny portion of the radiation around us. While infrared is larger, we only use a small portion of it for this type of photography. I use near infrared with a converted camera, while thermal imaging that shows hot and cold spots is another form, but it is done by using far infrared. While our eyes only see the visible spectrum, a camera sensor without any filter can see a wider range. Many new cameras use a CMOS sensor, as shown in the slide in green, as this captures a wide perspective of light. With a full conversion camera, it means no filters to cut UV or infrared light. Your camera can pick up the whole range. Many photographers use filters to cut out certain portions of the range to achieve different results. A standard IR camera is considered to be around a 720 filter, as it cuts the light around that range. Swapping channels, doing profiles in Lightroom can give you a good black and white image. Filters with less visible light cutoff allow for colored IR images to be processed in software. Just remember, what you typically see with visible light is not what you will see with your infrared camera. A fire smoggy day may look completely different in infrared light, as it can cut through the smog and provide shadows. This is an example of an image straight from a converted camera. Typically, you set the white balance on a sunlit green grass, and that becomes white. When processed in Photoshop or Lightroom, you can swap the red-blue channels and set profiles to modify the image, as shown now. The following slideshow is my exploration of visible light in infrared landscapes this past summer. Look at how colors change between the two images and how the beautiful golden canola clumps become mundane gray. I don't need to remember what I saw or modify it in software to meet people's ideals of landscape with infrared. This freedom of play is where I find my escape and my peace in a world where I'm always chasing to remember.